Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. Speaking of greatness, we're in the middle of the madness. Or do we call it the midness? Very, very chalky this year. A lot of people are talking about, mid-majors are dead. There never is going to be a Cinderella again. I didn't tell my guest, who is appearing just now, the red beard. How we doing, my guy? I have a question before you answer that question, though. Are Cinderellas dead? I'm going to surprise you with this. I didn't let you know beforehand, but are Cinderellas officially dead in the NIL era?
That's a tough one. Because I can give you an answer right now, but we won't have the answer for about 4 or 5 more years, probably. I mean, we gotten so many Cinderellas over the last decade, it's become a normality. But before that, Cinderellas were like not a real thing. That's why they were so big and so celebrated. So we got into this world in this era where the competition playing field was kind of starting to get leveled. And then NIL comes, and now you get all these superstar, quote unquote, players at small schools getting picked apart to these big schools. But I still think, I don't even think it's 50-50. I think maybe 10 to 20% of it might be dead. But I think we're still going to get these groups of kids that end up together, and they all seniors, and they're going to try and go on a run. We might start seeing smaller schools accumulate better teams through NILs. Right now, it's a lot of big schools picking small schools. We might start seeing some of these schools, and I'm trying to think of a perfect example. But a San Diego State, somebody, or a New Mexico, they might start getting better. You got 10 seeds. Arkansas being a 10 seed, being the only Cinderella really in this thing right now, is kind of weird.
Which
you talk about chalky, and it's been a chalky tournament. Don't I know it?
Hey. No, but it's crazy to think about, though, because of Arkansas at the beginning of the season projected top 25 team. St. John's not in it. Come back to now all of a sudden Arkansas is an underdog. Crazy what can happen throughout a season, but I was just curious about your Cinderella take a little bit, just because it's kind of what I've just been hearing around, and I kind of agree, but I almost wonder if it's kind of like football, where now football's going back to running the ball ground and pound. I wonder if now, like you said, where there's a lot of not many Cinderellas. I wonder if we're gonna get a few years of that before we get back to the.
You just can't tell me that there's zero chance, or less than 70 to 80% chance, that we get a Florida Gulf Coast again, or a VCU again, or a Wichita State again, or a St. Peter's again. Like the possibility of that happen, I feel like is closer to 100% than 0%.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Loyola Chicago, I won't lie, got stuck in the YouTube rabbit hole watching that little run again and forgot how truly magical that was. Like what man?
Yeah, 2018.
Yes,
it was
sir.
Amazing. It was amazing. The other thing too, you got to realize a lot of coaches have left. So over the last 10 years, we got an influx of a bunch of new coaches, and a bunch of these new coaches were at smaller schools. Over these last 10 years, we're watching all of these young little coaches get bigger school name jobs. We might have to wait for the new flux of young coaches at these smaller schools. Even Nico Medved signing a deal today, going from Colorado State to, dang, I can't believe I forgot. West Virginia?
I don't think it's West Virginia.
Me neither.
I know Iowa just got the Drake coach, which now that's 3 years in a row now. I think their coach got picked up.
Yeah, and see, that's what's crazy. These smaller schools are becoming coaching and player pick-aparts. And it's going to become a time where that doesn't happen, and we get a run, and it's going to be
Minnesota.
Magical. That is a horrible job. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, but I mean, hey.
I wouldn't leave Colorado State to go to the Big Ten at Minnesota.
Yeah. But hey, how you doing, by the way, man, now that we got that out of the way? Let's get back to the original question. How we doing over there, Mr. King of the Madness?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to the Sweet 16. The beautiful part about this is we have some good-ass games, and by good-ass games, I mean capital ASS, good-ass games. Every single one of these games could be a Final Four, could be an Elite Eight. A few of these games could be a championship, and we get them all in the Sweet 16. I do love the Cinderellas, but sometimes you get the chalk, and it's actually nice to just see a bunch of powerhouses go head-to-head. We even got one of those third-timers SEC matchup, Kentucky and Tennessee. Love Kentucky, just to jump into it real quick on the money line. I
Ooh.
bet Kentucky on the money line. But you, of all people, know how hard it is to beat somebody 3 times. Kentucky beat Tennessee twice already. Does that scare you as much as it scares me?
100%, because like it's even then like people you can look at it the other way too, where it's like maybe if you're that good, you can just beat them a third time again. But especially with like basketball, feels like that's a lot of luck that you need. So it's like I don't know. Yeah, that does scare me a lot. I mean, it depends too, especially if they're closer games. Like they're blowouts, I think it'd be. I don't know though, because then I look at it too. It's like, man, if there are 2 big blowouts in a row, they can come in last good days. Cool. If it's close games, I might come in nervous. Either way you look at it, you just might overthink yourself.
I decided to ignore it. We're in the March Madness now. I'm going to go with the players on the court and the coaches on the sideline. And I don't like Rick Barnes, and I like Lamont Butler head and shoulders
Lamont
over
Butler.
Ziegler. And I love Ziegler. But Lamont Butler is a special player. Outside of UConn, this kid has beaten everybody in March Madness the last 2 years.
Man, and he had a buzzer beater a few years ago.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Man, let's just. I have a question for you. Let's jump back a little bit before we get back to looking ahead. Round of 64, round of 32. We don't have to go through a real like recap because I mean, let's be honest. It's Tuesday before the games. You kind of already know who's there. What were some games that really stood out to you over the weekend? Because I know you got eyes on pretty much every single game, if not all the games.
Oh, baby. Best believe. Creighton. I'll start there. They started off the tournament with a bang.
That was fun.
Plus 120. If you waited, I got it at plus 135 right before the tip. A lot of money coming in on Louisville because of the home court / quote unquote home court advantage. Creighton dogging them. Started off Thursday, started off the tournament beautifully. I will always remember that game. And even against Creighton, they had a chance for sure. Michigan, the heart attack kid. They cover by 3. They cover by a hook on the first night, and then they're down by 10 to Texas A&M in the second half before coming back.
That was magical.
Old Mississippi dominate. Like I told y'all, old Mississippi would dominate in
Is that
this
Chris
tournament.
Beard?
Chris Beard, baby. Old Miss. If they didn't run into the greatest team on the court this season, I would pick them to go to the Final Four.
Whoa.
But their ride will end today. But over this weekend, I also love the way Florida looked. I love the way Duke looked. I was nervous about Duke against Baylor until I wasn't. Ended up betting 12.5 right before the tip. Dominated. I loved what I saw from Duke.
Shout out.
I want to talk about that game a little later. What other game really stood out? Wisconsin, I was betting their overs the whole damn tournament. BYU doing the damn thing. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Houston Gonzaga was an Elite 8 field game. It was probably the best game of the weekend just as far as wire-to-wire game goes if you're watching a basketball game. But there were some fun moments. I mean, we were seeing McNeese catch put-back dunks like crazy left and right over Clemson. Beautiful moment on Thursday. They could not bring that same energy against Purdue. And even Purdue, I loved watching what they brought. Braden Smith on a darn mission.
How'd you just keep talking? You said that C word. Man. 27-3 or whatever it was. Blowout. Clemson. Sorry to interrupt you about Purdue, but that Clemson stinker. Georgia stinker. Yeah. Those were just 2 games, sorry, I wanted to bring up when you talked about bad.
Yeah, I was surprised. I had Clemson 7.5. That was one of my losses on Thursday. And then Gonzaga, Georgia. I was scared to bet Gonzaga because of Georgia's energy and what they brought all season in the SEC play. They come out and look like they don't belong to be in this damn tournament.
That was crazy.
Walking the dog, literally. What was it? 20? What'd you say it was?
27-3. I literally I looked up and like, is that real?
Yeah, as they say in the business, never a doubt on that one.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Go back to what you were saying about Purdue and Braden Smith. Too. I will say one thing that scared me about Braden Smith before I let you go: turnovers, man.
Oh yeah, that's his favorite thing to do. And he's about to play the best defense in the world. But we'll get to previewing the game.
Home game.
Later. Kentucky. If you know me, and you know me, I've been screaming Kentucky's winning the national championship since November. In February, I backed off a little bit. Now I'm in a rough spot because now they're playing like the Kentucky team that I expected them to be. They
Dude,
might win this whole damn thing.
they came out good against Illinois.
Shut them down. That was
Absolutely.
another game that was never a doubt. I never had any fear in my heart of Illinois in that game. I was on Kentucky money line for that one. Disappointed UCLA lost to Tennessee. Also disappointed it wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
But I love what I see from Kentucky. Tennessee did what they had to do to get here. That's going to be great. Texas Tech scared the hell out of me in both of those games. Ended up covering, I believe, the second game. I don't think they covered the first game.
What scares you about them?
They're just playing everybody close.
Okay.
Like
Makes sense.
they're not dominating in the fashion I thought they'd be dominating in. Their
Yeah.
defense looks average, to say the least.
Ooh.
And their offense is what to be expected. But I thought their defense would come down and shut down the 14 seed and shut down Drake a little bit better. I believe what they won by 10. UNCW was up by 1 late in this game. And by late, somewhere in the second half. And Drake, they stuck with it the whole time until, boom, finally Texas Tech hit a mean run late in that second half. Arkansas,
Man.
I thought they'd fall to Kansas. I thought they'd fall to St. John's. They have to fall to Texas Tech, right?
You would think so. I don't. How magical can this run be? I mean, Boogie Flam's getting healthier. They just I forget who Calipari just announced today. He announced somebody that's coming back for them. That's like going to be a real big defensive help. I can't think of the guy's name. So that might. I don't know though. That's a tough one. Texas Tech is good. Calipari made a joke on the Pat McAfee show today. How he was watching Texas Tech's film after the game and he had to turn it off because he needed to be in a different mood to watch it because they just weren't missing anything.
Yeah.
And they play everywhere well, he said, on offense. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one for Arkansas.
I just feel like they want to lose. Like, Texas Tech has not shown me they want to be here, much less that they want to win.
Yeah, they just need that moment where it's like, hey, this is our game.
I like Texas Tech a lot, but I haven't seen it from them. I haven't seen that I want to go to the Final Four from them.
This makes sense.
Michigan State was beautiful, covered both games. Did the damn thing.
Beautiful.
And Michigan was beautiful. So
Michigan's
I enjoyed this whole weekend. Yeah.
Even with those chalky one game, I pretty much agree with you. There were 3 games I want to bring up. The first one was a few nights before, New Mexico, in their first round matchup. That was beautiful against Marquette. Shout out to both Patino boys moving on. I think that's the first time ever thing. Sucks they both got eliminated in the very next round though, but hey, had their moment. Shout out.
That was nice. Yeah. I had New Mexico plus 150 on the money line, and it was one of the bets I was most nervous about. But I was excited. I watched it. It never felt like they were going to lose that game.
I had great energy.
I don't know what happened to Marquette, man. You can blame Shaka. You can blame whoever you want. But they've been looking like this since January.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a surprise to me at all. And you're talking to somebody who had maybe 3 or 4 different futures on Marquette from November.
And it's crazy because then it's just like all of a sudden when you have a team like that who's like good and should be doing better, all of a sudden it's like something happens and boom, season's over just like that. And all of a sudden it's another season of like, damn, what could have been for Marquette because they've had some really good teams lately. So it's tough one for them. One more game I want to do too. Arizona, Oregon. Arizona shouts for the comeback. Really didn't watch this game. Saw them plus 5.5 when they were down 21 to like 4, whatever it was. I'm like, that probably means something. Let me take that. But shout out to them for a great comeback. Wish I could have got to watch that game. 2 more, Ole Miss, Iowa State. Shout out to Ole Miss for the energy they just came out with. You brought them up as well. But that Iowa State game, they just absolutely buried them from the get-go. And there was just never a doubt in sight. And the final game, maybe the best game we'll see all tournament, maybe? Florida-UConn. That was a great matchup. Honestly, a great matchup. Absolutely fun to watch. Amazing ending. That boy, Dan Hurley, loves the spotlight, man. Hate him or love him. That boy, I'll admit, he going into the tunnel, sorry for, then I'll let you go. He had his moment. I thought that was hilarious. But then you see the interview afterwards, and it's like, hate him or love him. That boy wears his heart on his sleeve.
As soon as they lost, I said he gonna cry. And like 10 minutes later,
He
they
cried.
flashed. Yeah, and I said I knew he was gonna cry. But shout out to Dan Hurley and what they did, man. I think
For
they
real.
overachieved this season for what they had, and you can't be mad at Dan Hurley. I'm not gonna call any players out by names, but there's about 6 players on this team that underperformed all season long.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, shout out to him. I didn't realize he got there in 2018. I thought he was there a lot longer. So I didn't even
Yeah,
realize that he was at Rhode Island until so it was like shout out to Dan Hurley for real for how quickly he changed around that program and
yeah.
brought him back up. But that pretty
No,
much
they went through some coaches, man. But yeah, they shout out to him. You talk about Arizona, Oregon.
yeah.
Arizona's down 21-4. I got the over in the game. I looked, and G Money said Arizona coming back, and he jumped on Arizona money line at a crazy price, and that was a fun way to end the weekend, Sunday night.
Beautiful. I'm kind of kicking myself for not taking the money line as well, but I'm playing to save with the 5.5. But hey, when you wake up the green, can't complain too much. But that pretty much takes us over recap real quick and talking about it a little bit. Question for you, man. It's time, man. Sweet 16. Breakdowns, previews, bets, anything you really want to do. I'm pretty much going to hand off the wheel to you and just kind of like let you steer the ship, take us wherever you want, and I'll just kind of chime in and join in whenever you need like a water break or you want to. What do you ever
Let
want
me
to do?
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
We saw UConn the last few years cover every number with ease.
I think it was 14 straight or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's a great record. Duke, everybody's favorite. They cover with ease against Baylor. They open 8.5 against Arizona. It's
Ooh.
9.5 currently. Am I a fool for not betting Duke minus 9.5?
Based on their tournament history, the deeper they go, no. Based on what we've seen in their last few games, maybe. I don't know. Can you ever trust them Dookie Stains, man? But at the same time, they've been playing. Watching them play, they're really good. And most importantly, especially to you, they have your favorite player in college basketball history.
They do. Mason Gillis. X Factor, baby.
What's crazy too is we mean legit Mason Gillis, baby.
All he does is stay on his toes in the right spot. Misses a box out. He wasn't, but the rebound's over here. What you did? The kid's great. Love Mason Gillis. My favorite player I've ever watched play basketball. Runs with a straight back too. Nice little laugh to watch him run up and down the court. I mean, the kid's hilarious. Every time he touches the ball, he's looking to make a play. Duke,
Oh,
man, I almost feel dumb for not betting 9.5. There's no way I bet against Duke. Arizona
yeah.
has a streaky, flashy, but good offense, and not really any defense. Whereas Duke has a great defense and a great offense. Something
And Mason
tells
Gillis.
me, and Mason Gillis, something tells me Arizona can come out with haymakers, uppercuts. They can come off the top rope. They can do a 2-on-1. They can do any gimmick. And then you're going to look up, and Duke's going to be up 12 points, just handling business. Caleb Love could drop 40 points in this game, and I don't think it matters.
Man. Really?
5-on-5, Duke is better. And I just don't know why I haven't bet Duke minus 9.5 yet. One of the few games, and I do mean few games, I don't have a bet on yet. And I right now I'm kind of being stubborn. I didn't bet the 8.5, so I'm not betting the 9.5.
You think it'll
But
drop?
throughout this day, no, I think I'm screwed. But we could see some last minute money coming in on Caleb Love. You're seeing all the memes, right?
I have not actually.
The Duke Slayer, UNC
Oh,
God.
I
They're
actually
bringing
have
back
not.
all the UNC memes,
Uh,
talking about one more time, Caleb. Go and do it for us.
Man, so that's
We got a
either.
whole Tar Heel Nation coming in on Arizona right now.
So what that means is we're either going to get a godlike performance or one of 10 from 3.
And I think either or. It don't matter. Duke's too deep.
Yeah, they
Arizona
are.
needs 2 or 3 other players to step up besides Caleb Love. And I think Duke's defense ultimately is the difference here. Want to bet the over, staying away from that because if Duke's defense does show up, who knows what we get. But I see Duke winning this thing like 87-75. 12-point game, 9.5. I'll probably end up with a bet on Duke. But
I think you
that's a
talked
right.
me into him.
Yeah, that's like I said. There's 2 games I haven't bet yet. That's one of them. I wanted to ask you how you was feeling.
I mean,
Like I said, I can see even if Caleb Love drops 40, you need the rest of the team to put up 40 with him, I think.
and I won't lie, watching Cooper Flag play that last game, it's just like, who's gonna have an answer for him? Honestly, and
Nobody can guard him.
who is that other kid that went off for them? That's been just insane from 3 as well. Like they're just
Oh, Proctor?
Proctor. That is Proctor. Yeah, he's been going off too, and he's also now he's hot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just
Tyrese
don't know.
Proctor, if he's as hot as he was the last 2 games, Caleb Love can drop 50. It's not going to matter. And if Caleb Love's dropping 40 and 50, he's taking 30, 40 shots. Nobody else is getting shots. It's not like Caleb Love's dropping 40 points on 20 shots and getting to the free throw line. He's jacking
30
33s
plus.
and hitting 9 of them.
Duke, man, sounds like they might be moving on.
I think they are, and I hate it. But I am going to wait. I didn't bet the 8.5. Not going to rush to bet the 9.5. If I can get Duke anywhere lower than 9.5, even if it's live, maybe Arizona comes out on an 8-0 run, and you get Duke 4.5. I'm gonna try and jump on Duke at an opportune time, though. Mm-hmm. The next question I have for you, and we kind of talked about this earlier. Arkansas is a Cinderella with proven prospects, proven players, and a proven coach. One of the weirdest situations we've ever seen in our life. And then you get Texas Tech as the 3 seed, who's not your every year 3 seed. This isn't Duke, North Carolina, even Michigan State. Texas Tech is rarely this much of a favorite or even this highly regarded. I just don't know if I could lay 5.5 with Texas Tech in Arkansas with John Calipari.
Yeah, man, getting me choked up thinking about it, man. Woo!
I keep trying to talk through it, and it just kept going.
I apologize, man. You get me choked up, man. No, I don't know. That's a tough one because, like, it's. I thought about the video on the sideline of his wife and his daughter, seeing them cry after everything they've gone through. You think about his emotional journey, all the highs. I mean, what got me is another guy who appeared on the Pat McAfee show. Shout out. He talked about my team could have quit, all of us could have quit, and everyone hung through and everything. And it's a certain toughness now that's like, maybe they can do it. And also, SEC apparently is the best basketball conference in college basketball, so why not?
If Arkansas makes the Final Four, it'll be the biggest thing on his resume.
That would be really impressive, especially in year 1.
It'll be bigger than the championship with Anthony Davis as a 1 seed. That'd be crazy to me. And I called it, but I didn't call it. I mean, I said 2 months ago when Boogie Flan got hurt, bet him plus 280 to make the tournament. I said, let's jump on this Arkansas train. But even I didn't see them beating Kansas or St. John's. You want to know the funniest part of round 1, and I just remembered it? We're watching Kansas, Arkansas. I don't know if you saw this.
I did. I watched the game.
I don't remember the announcer's name, but they're losing. It's almost. It's almost.
I know you're talking about.
The game's almost over with, and all you hear is, I mean, when does the last time you seen Hunter Dickinson do anything? And then Hunter Dickinson bricks a 3. That was probably my favorite part.
Oh, man. I forgot all about that, honestly, too. Yeah, Arkansas, Kansas.
I just flashed back when I thought about Arkansas, Kansas. I was like, that was hilarious.
I do remember seeing that. Yeah, they were on that boy. So was social media about his era in Kansas. Tough internet day for
Bill Self's legacy. But anyway, that's
tough day to be Hunter Dickinson.
$2 million would be all right.
You're right.
Give me $2 million and you can slap my mama.
Hey.
Arkansas.
Just be gentle.
I think they're going to keep dancing.
Feels like it, right? especially plus 5.5. I do like that as a betting number.
It feels like they got some extra sauce this year, like recently. Like you can't look at this Arkansas team, and we see this every year with one team, and this year it's Arkansas, where you literally kind of have to ignore November through February.
Oh yeah, that's about what
You
they're
have to
doing
look
now.
at this team literally for what they did against St. John's and what they did against Kansas, because you beat Kansas, who was just above average and everything, and then you beat St. John's, who's top 5 in defense. And now you're about to see Texas Tech, who doesn't have as good of a defense as St. John's, who you just beat. And the offense, I would say, is pretty similar to Kansas.
And they have something that's very, very important. A veteran who's been there, done that kind of, in your boy, John L. Davis.
My guy, one of my favorite college basketball players ever.
So I'm with you. I kind of think, I think personally for me, I think Arkansas moves on from this game. It's going to be interesting to see how Texas Tech does because they can be a super offensive powerhouse, but
I just don't think they want it. I'm going to go Arkansas on the money line. That's the second bet.
I think I'm with
and
you
the
on
last
that.
game that I don't have. But I'm probably going to end up on Arkansas money line. Now let's talk about these bets I do have. You got BYU and you got Alabama. I know you're sitting on this over. And that's a crazy over.
I mean, it's madness season, baby. Anything can happen. I saw Colorado,
90,
Florida
90 to
last year, 100,
84. No, it could definitely hit with ease. This could definitely be 105, 100. But I think both of these teams are going to be emphasizing defense over offense because they know the offense is there. We're going to see a new gym, a new arena. I don't know. That's a crazy over to me.
Yeah.
I'm on Alabama. I'm on Alabama minus 4.5. And I love BYU. But I just think Alabama is ready for this moment more than BYU is. Alabama's prepared for this moment all season. I think BYU is kind of happy to be here. Glad we made it. This is where we meant to be, but I'm actually glad we're here. Whereas Alabama's still like, no, we've been talking about this Final Four for 6 months.
And they have a lot of the guys from last year that sadly had their season ended as well. It's one of those things. I got BYU plus 5.5 just because I think Alabama wins, but I'm not sure if they cover. But then it's one of those things where it's going to come down. I think it's going to end up coming down to free throws if it's a close game. But then I also have a weird feeling where Alabama might just be able to run away with it late if BYU just can't find any scoring. But
yeah, I actually think this is a blowout, and it could be BYU blowing out Alabama. But I think one of these teams is not going to show up on offense. And if I had to bet which one it is, it's BYU.
I think I'd agree, which scares the hell out of me. 2 bets on this game that scare the absolute hell out of me.
I mean, I went 17-12 this weekend, so there's 12 reasons for you to feel good.
I went 22-22. There's 22 reasons for you to feel indifferent.
No, I mean, I love BYU. Nate Oates, he's proven he's a winner.
Yeah.
And I feel like 4.5 with free throws at the end of a game I wouldn't say easy cover. But college basketball is one of the sports where you're not going to win by 2 or 3. It's going to be 4 or 5.
Yeah. Until it's 2. And then you sit there like, damn, that hook, I'm up.
Yeah, they hit the last second 3 on for nothing.
And it's
just because.
You sit there like, UConn, Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost bet the over in that game. That's what made the over hit, if you don't know.
I did not.
That 3 is what made the over hit. It was 150 in a hook. I think it ended 152. So it was 149 before that 3.
And I know Florida minus 3.5 bettors are salty, though.
But yeah. For sure. And speaking of Florida, I told you last week that this kid from Maryland, Derek Queen, will become a household name. Actually, the only madness we got all weekend was Derek Queen.
Was
with
it
the LeBron travel.
Was it not?
Hey, if LeBron can do it, Derek Queen can do it.
I stand by the rule. If it looks cool and it's not egregious, let it on.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is college, and people are saying the gather step isn't there. But that first step, that's not counted as a step.
Yeah.
He could have still dribbled.
One of those weird rules.
Your steps isn't really counted until 2 hands is on the ball. And that's just how he moved. Because he could have easily dribbled again. It's
The
not like
gifts
he
of
took
being like
another step.
6'9". You can do some of that
Yeah.
weird, freaky.
Off the glass. And I hate to say I called it. I said, give me Derek Queen going over his right shoulder, going to his left. And the announcer, I don't know if you remember, he's saying everybody else's name on the damn team. I said, bro, just give the ball to Derek Queen going left. And sure enough, he kissed it off the glass. Maryland.
Did you hear what he said in the
Usually,
huddle? Sorry to interrupt you, but did you hear what he said in the huddle?
I do. I love the kid.
All right.
Give me the M and F and ball.
Give it to me. Love that energy. Sorry to interrupt, but I just had to get
If you
that
don't
in
have
there.
that energy, you honestly don't deserve the ball. Like, that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. That boy believes in himself, and that's why the ball went in. Off the glass.
He knew it was going in before he caught it. He knew that shot was going in 8th grade when he was stealing somebody's lunch money. Trust me. He was stealing somebody's lunch money. Nah, I'm playing. But he knew that shot was going on his whole life. Because his whole life he knew that shot was going in. And that only makes sense if it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's about as much madness as Maryland gets.
Oh. So you're up.
Florida. -6.5.
Whoa. You like it?
Florida's head and shoulders above Colorado State. All they have to do is show up and hit their shots. Their defense is battle tested. Their offense is battle tested. Even last game against UConn, there was never a doubt they were going to win that game, even though there was a chance they weren't.
I do like how they played against UConn. I think that was like defeating the 3-time national champs in a game where they made you earn. It was like something where it's like, feels like Florida's going to go on a little bit of a run now, and it's going to take like a team going to. I mean, if Maryland, they have a chance. I just don't like the streakiness of them on offense. That's the part that kind of scares me.
Their
And
offense is hard on the eyes.
oh yeah, I was getting aggravated. I'm just watching the bigs work down low to get wide open. These guards just dribble, pass, jack up a three, miss. Bigs are wide open down low against a small dribble around the perimeter out here, jack up a three, and it's just like good teams are gonna beat the hell out of you if you do stuff like that all the time.
And that's what we're gonna see.
I like it. I think I'm gonna be on that with you.
Florida -6.5 is definitely a play I'm gonna make. I just don't think this game is even within 10.
Ooh.
Like, I think Florida just gets to 15 and coast.
And just gets up out of that thing, packs it up for the Elite Eight on whatever day they
Maryland needed everything in that game against Colorado State.
They really did. It took everything.
Colorado
and
State won that game 4 times.
Man, what a shot by Junior Lake, by the way. I think that's his first name.
Nobody will ever remember.
I would say the shot that'll never be remembered, but had me stressing. Had the Maryland -1.5. That hook, man.
No, that was a crazy game. I was on Maryland -7.5, and about 10 minutes before he hits that shot, everybody in my house took Maryland +190 on the money line. And the dude hits the 3, and we all like somber, to say the least.
Everyone's looking around like.
And I started screaming. I said it about 10 times. Give Derek Queen the mother ball going left. That's all I want. That's all I want is Derek Queen. And long enough, it happened. We all jumped up, went bananas. It was a good Sunday night.
Beautiful.
And they deserve it. That fan base deserves it. Derek Queen deserves it. Maryland deserves it. Florida. Y'all be Maryland will be home soon to celebrate. Florida -6.5. Those are my 2 bets on Thursday. Alabama 4.5, Florida 6.5. We talked about Duke, probably going to be on them. We talked about Arkansas, probably going to be on them. Friday, this is where it gets fun. I got 4 bets on Friday. That's 4 games. Might even have 5 bets. Looking at a few totals. Let's start it off at 6:09 with the greatest basketball team I've ever seen. The Michigan State Spartans taking on probably the best team in this bracket, Ole Miss. You can flip a coin and take whoever the hell you want, and it's a good bet. Ole Miss has every reason to win this game, except Tom Izzo. Michigan State -2.5. That's also a fan bet. I would have bet Michigan State no matter what in this game. I'm actually betting Michigan State no matter what in this game because I love Old Miss.
Ooh,
I love
win-win
Chris
for
Beard.
you.
I said Old Miss is a team 2 months ago that could make the Final Four. I also said can't win them all. Michigan State minus 2.5. I'm on my Spartans. Wouldn't like it any other way. Tennessee and Kentucky. We opened up with the question: can Kentucky beat Tennessee 3 times in a row?
Can they?
Give me Kentucky. Plus 152 on the money line. This is another one of those bets. I'm gonna make 100 out of 100 times, and there's no logical reason for it. F. Rick Barnes, fade Rick Barnes. Give me Kentucky. Give me Lamont Butler and Mark Pope. We trust. Plus 152. Kentucky takes on Houston in the Elite Eight. Houston with a true road game, taking on your Purdue Boilermakers. You know what I think that does? Pisses them off just a little bit.
I would be.
You know what Houston has? The best defense in the nation. You know what travels? Defense. You know how hard it is to shoot in a football stadium?
Really hard.
Defense travels. Depth perception is a thing.
It is crazy.
Houston about to slap Purdue like a little child. Braden Smith, as I said about Dan Hurley, he's going to cry. Houston.
I did not expect you to say that. He's going to cry. Quick question, though.
You know he's going to cry.
Over under, we'll go 7.5 turnovers for Braden Smith. I want to make it 8, but we'll make it 7.5.
Over under 7.5. Man, that's a good number. 7 would be my guess, but I want to go over because all this kid does is turn the ball over. When you're talking about Houston, give me the over, confidently.
Talk yourself into it.
Yeah, I just thinking like, man, he's going to have 5 by halftime.
I just need 3.
Yeah. Houston's defense is stifling, bro.
Yeah.
Purdue has no defense. Houston has an offense this year.
Who they play
in
the first round? They held them to like a point a minute. It was actually like, I felt bad for the other team. Yeah, wasn't it?
SIU Edwardsville?
Yeah, wasn't that the team they held to like? Wasn't that the game where they held the team to like a point a minute, damn near?
So minus 28.5. Never a doubt. Houston.
Never. Smacking the wood.
Didn't doubt it once. Houston's gonna run Purdue out the damn water, bro.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Houston minus 7.5 against Purdue.
It's that big.
7, yeah. It ain't big enough.
I know, that's what scares me. I don't know if that's enough points. That's huge, and I don't know if that's enough.
I will say this: hats off to Purdue.
Yeah.
I know, you know, everybody knows they're not gonna quit. They could be down 20, and they still gonna be going full speed.
Yeah.
Full court.
It's just what you've seen these last few games. It's like it's nothing too spectacular. They just played good basketball. Nothing like great. They've just played good basketball. And at a certain point, you need to play great basketball. At a certain point, you need like superstar players to take over. At a certain point, you need defense. And I'll tell you what, there might be a D in Purdue, but that's a lowercase one for a reason this year. Without Zach Edey, they have been.
They also, in my opinion, got the easiest road to this Sweet 16 I've seen.
Yeah, they have pretty fair matchups,
You
especially
play
with
High
the upset.
Point, who get the hell out of here with High Point. And I don't know if you watched McNeese State after they beat Clemson.
I did.
But they was done. They was headed to North Carolina State already.
Yeah.
They literally all came out in the post-game conference and said, "This has been fun. We about to go to North Carolina State, and we bringing Aura with us."
I did not hear that. That's crazy.
That's basically what happened. They said how grateful they was to be here and how much money they made, and we going to North Carolina State.
I was about to say
I'm going to North Carolina State, and I'm bringing these boys with me.
I did know that a few of them would be going with him. The one that got me was when they watching the way they celebrated that win, and I understand it's an upset in March, but that was like y'all just win the national championship. Like when you saw Will Wade like jump and celebrate, like I understand it's a great. By the way, I understand it's a huge moment for the program and all that, but it just felt like looking at the moments like it felt like
No,
y'all just like played your hearts out a little too much.
they achieved what they planned on achieving, and that's what sucks. Is that Will Wade didn't bring anything to that second game. They brought zero energy. I
Yeah,
think they went down 15-2 early. Never gave a f.
Purdue led basically wire to wire. Only time they didn't lead, it was tied for like 15 seconds, I think, and then yeah, Purdue basically just controlled the game.
And here's Houston. After you got your confidence up playing against little kids.
In
Now let's go play these grown ass men
Oregon,
over here. Yeah.
I won't
I'm
lie.
on Houston 7.5. We got one more game, but go ahead.
I think you might be right with Houston. That's all I was gonna say. You might be right.
I know you love Purdue, man.
Eh,
I ain't I don't hate them.
I'm a Notre Dame boy at heart.
They made a Sweet 16 though. That's like honestly, if
With
they
the,
play anybody else in the first or the second round, they not here.
yeah, yeah, most of the matchups that pretty good teams in some of the other. And they got, like I said, they get a home game basically. I think that's it almost feels like the committee kind of did them a slight favor. Like, hey, we know you don't got Edie anymore, and we know you lost your big man. That was kind of promising, but pseudo home game. Here you go.
That tells you 1,000, not 100, 1,000%. The committee expected Clemson to be here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Either that, or maybe just maybe they don't fully know what the hell they're doing all the time, and stuff just happens to work out the way it does, and they look back like, yeah, we probably should have thought that one through a little bit more. But hey,
You know what else messed over Houston? Auburn got the number one overall seed and chose the South. And it's like you're not gonna
yeah,
put Houston in the East or the West. So now
yeah,
they end up in the Midwest. Just
kind of stuck.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think they slapped the hell out of them just because of that.
I agree.
Kelvin Sampson's a smart coach. He's gonna play this to their advantage.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. He's really really good coach too. I think he's ranked number one coach in the tourney that's left.
Yeah, I mean he's been there 11 years. So these
Yeah,
guys are building programs.
shouts at what he's done with Houston truly the last couple of years too. Like, whew.
Man, I remember 2010 going to Houston games, and it's like you can get a dude a quarter, walk in, pick a seat, nobody's there, bro. Just go have fun. Two kids running around, 12 people in the whole stadium.
We got to get the kids off the court.
Yeah,
Like, hey, this is live game.
I watched Joe Young live at Houston.
Man, wouldn't be able to do that now. That
No,
stadium full.
Auburn, baby, number one seeds. I told you Houston is covering. I told you Florida is covering. I told you Duke ain't losing. They probably gonna cover. The last number one seed, everybody's favorite,
Bruce Pearl.
the Auburn Tigers from the SEC, the mighty SEC. I bet Creighton on the money line. And I'm going to do it again this week. I might be a fool, but I'm either going to lose the next 4 bets betting against Auburn, or hopefully this one hits and I ain't got to go the next 2 and hopefully break even. Plus 300, plus 315. The Wolverines of Michigan, in my opinion, for the same reason I like Creighton. Big man presence. This time, at least we got 2 7-footers. Kalkbrenner, I don't know what happened to him, but I was disappointed in his second half performance. But hey,
Yeah.
I thought he would dominate. I can't be mad at the kid for not dominating. But now you got Golden, who ain't no punk. Janiah Broome is going to be little in this game. You
Which
got
is
Wolf.
crazy.
Yeah. So now it's the guards against the guards. I'll take Michigan's guards. I'll take Michigan's grit. I'll take Michigan's experience in close games. Auburn's been covering 20-point spreads all year. Michigan has been winning games and under 4 points all season. Give me Michigan, even if they're down early. So fight back. And slay the damn dragon. Michigan Wolverines on the money line. We're going to ride this out. 3 games in a row in the Big Ten tournament. First 2 games of this tournament. 4 of those games, by the way, out of those 5, plus money. Give me again, plus money Wolverines. Plus money Michigan, baby.
I'm on it with you. I love it. Just because they've been fun. It's been a fun ride in Michigan. Basically, this whole time you have as well. And then they just like good basketball, and I love big men in basketball, and they got 2 of them. So that's
gorgeous.
And you can't ever trust Auburn. I just can't. You can't do it until they do it. You can't do it.
2 rules also that have nothing to do with this year. I would never effing trust Auburn. I would never effing trust Bruce Pearl. And since I was 12 years old, give me Wolverines on the damn money line.
Since he was 12.
Michigan, baby. Bro, I'm telling you, Michigan State, and Syracuse are my favorite teams for a reason. That plus 300 don't mean a thing, Jack. They gonna come get it. They one of the few programs you could just consistently, not with Juwan Howard, but Justin Michigan back. Tom Izzo's always been there.
Your
and
boy.
Of course, he was Ohio for a long time.
Your boy, Juwan Howard. Crazy to think about what turnaround Dusty May's been.
No, I mean, Juwan Howard's a good coach. You just saw that he's not. Everybody's talking about what he did and what he didn't do. He ain't do shit but slap Nebraska's coach in 5 years.
And get his kid to the league.
He got his kid to the league. Bro, hats off. His kid would have never made the league without him.
I don't know if he plays. I know he's on the Magic.
You think Jet Howard gets minutes or buckets without his dad?
In the G League?
No.
Maybe.
Talking about
college. Maybe at Colorado State. No, I honestly have no idea. But yeah, you might be onto something. But to keep us going, because we're Elite Eight. We kind of really, I guess we kind of already touched on it. You kind of said who you got moving on, so I guess we kind of got to do that. We'll change that to we'll do Final Four. Who's your Final Four as of right now? And for your bracket challenge, first we'll do it this way. First, for your bracket challenge, how many teams are left in your Final Four? And second, who's your Final Four that you got as of right now?
All right. So I'm in 15th place, baby. Because filling out brackets ain't got shit to do with spreads or betting.
Sadly.
And I don't give a damn about a damn bracket. I took some long shots, baby. But I do have 3 of my Final Four.
Ooh.
I had Oregon in the Final Four, believe it or not. But my other 3, I had Houston beating Oregon, and I had Florida beating Michigan State.
Okay.
Florida, Michigan State, and Houston still there.
Not bad. I had the Johnnies, so I mean, I might as well have had Oregon. I mean, gee.
I liked Oregon, man. I thought they could, if they could get through Arizona, which honestly I thought they can get through Arizona because the old Pac-12, they ain't scared of them.
Yeah.
BS. But I never bet over, so I didn't bet Oregon. But
they were up early and should have just put them away. But so basically, I guess we can kind of. You got any final thoughts for us? Basically, that's basically we were kind of in, and we kind of went over everything. I feel like we got all your bets. If you want to give all those out again. But yeah, any final thoughts? You want to give out your bets again? What do you want to do? Floor's yours.
I just can't wait, man. I cannot wait for these games. Literally every single one of these games is going to be a good one. It's going to be a must-watch. And we'll probably only get 2 blowouts.
That's not bad.
And if I had to call those blowouts, it'd be Florida and Houston.
I would not be too shocked by either of those, honestly. Man. Appreciate for having me on.
Alabama minus 4.5. Florida minus 6.5. Michigan State minus 2.5. Kentucky money line. Houston minus 7.5. And Michigan money line. Those 6 are already placed. Arkansas money line and Duke minus 9.5 is probably gonna get bet. Cause why the hell not bet all 8?
Season's almost over, man. Might as well have a little bit more fun since you got a little bit of bankroll. I mean, you were just.
And
I
I
saw
just
you at the
know I'm
beginning of
not
the
gonna
show.
bet Duke, and they gonna win by 30. You said it's been a chalky tournament, right?
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
That's what I'm saying. Throw a little bit of them dookie stains, boy. Man, no, I really do appreciate you coming on. It's a blast, man. Always fun. Hopefully, I can get you on again next week, so we can finish out this tournament together, man. Cause crazy. We're already 2 rounds down. Got what? 4 to go.
This round went by fast, bro. I looked up and it was like
Mon-
8 o'clock on Friday, and I knew it was over.
Man, waking up Monday was like, wow. It's already flying by.
I cried.
I felt like weeping. Alright. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for support. Really do appreciate it. I will be back next week. Because let's be honest, NFL news can wait a little bit. We're in the middle of March Madness. I'll be back with probably 2 episodes next week. Boy will be on next week with me, so I will see everybody then. Enjoy the madness.
Enjoy the madness. I'm sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead. That's all I was going to say. Enjoy the madness. What do you got?
Coach of the Year, NBA. You ready for it?
Nico
Plus
Medved.
5,000. Mark Daigneault. I holla.
Stare down greatness.